Boom! Pop! Welcome to Flying Can Ranch in Athens, Texas. Now, before we move on with this review, I know what you're going to say. Vance, if you went sig crazy, well, I might have. So, what I've shared with you today, you'll bear with me a minute, is this Sauer X5 ASP pellet pistol. And it's in a box. Now, what you're going to see me take out of the box isn't exactly how it's put together. So, in the box you get a nice little manual written in about, I don't know, 6 or 7, 10 languages. And then we have the gun itself in the box. Not a clamshell, a box. But nonetheless, let's wrap this up out of here. And we're going to go over a couple of specs real quick, but we'll look at it. If there's anything I can say about this particular pellet pistol, it's girthy, it's huge, it's heavy. It's the biggest one I've had yet since I had a SIG 226, which epically failed, but I might give that a chance again too. So just going off the thing real quick. Well, let's look at it for a minute. Like that, and like that. We'll spin it around, business end, come around. Yes, I had it to laser sight, and I had a funny way of wrapping it on there, but we'll get around all that, like that. So this is the Sauer X5 ASP pellet pistol, and it's a 177 caliber pellet. They say it does 380 feet per second. I'm kind of questioning that right now, but I don't have a chronometer, so couldn't tell you. The overall length of this thing is 8.70 inches, and the barrel length is 5 inches. So I'm sorry, the overall length is 8.70, barrel length is 5, and it weighs a real nice 2.70 pounds. So that's like, 3 pounds of air gun in your hand. This does have a 20-round magazine. We'll get to that in a minute. It has an adjustable rear thing, really cool thing. It does have an adjustable rear sight. We'll go through that. It is a blowback, but since it's a bell fed, it does not lock back on the last shot. So you got to kind of count them. All metal frame, metal trigger. Let's get down to business. Has a good stippling here on the grip. Not so much here, but definitely up on the front side and inside this piece of trigger housing. We've talked about that. I added this little Gamo laser to it. And you do have a takedown lever, and from everything I read in the instructions, you cannot take it down. So, but you do have on this side, which would be your left side, a magazine release. A little button right here. I always say keep your hand underneath them because they really fly out. This is no exception. And you'll have the little mag. We'll get to that. Now, this is a DA only. So you can't, as far as I can tell, I haven't tried it, but you can't just pull a hammer back and shoot. Rack it, shoot that puppy and get going. You got some stippling here for grip, some stippling here for grip. I like the finish on this. It's kind of a dull black, not that blued black. You do, of course, have the weaver rail that I put this on, and I've rigged it up to a touchpad, so it works. These have a pretty good ability to, well, I say they do. Let's see. Oh, is it working? We'll find out in a minute. I know it's working there. I was gonna say these were pretty good. I shot it the other day in daylight. There it is. And, there it is. I can see it. Kind of, sort of. They were pretty good in daylight. And I like the fact that it does have the adjustable for elevation and for windage. And it's marked very clearly. It's going to be hard to see. It's got a little arrow and it says up, and that's counterclockwise, or I'm sorry, yeah, that's counterclockwise is to raise the sight, and then clockwise will sink it. And then I don't have my glasses on for squat, but if you turn this one, where are we at here, forward, it'll go right. If you come back, so if you go clockwise, this side will go to the right, and you go the way it goes to the left. I really had to raise these up quite a bit before I could even hit a can with them, which is kind of interesting. But I like it. Despite the fact I wrapped this whole thing around the grip, I'm able to punch it, come up, and I get a good, clean sight picture with it. It's got good wide sights. It's easy to make a target acquisition with it. It's not that loud. Now remember, when you're using one of these, when you pull this trigger, that first little bit is what rotates the belt, and then bang. So there's a little trick to learn how to shoot these. Wow, what's going on with my hair? It's just sticking out every, oh my tubes. Any rate, so that's something you have to get used to. Takes a little practice. This one has been a little bit more challenging than the ones I've had in the past. So, you know, but we're gonna put some cans up here and we're gonna give it a good try. I like the weight of this because this really feels like a real deal. Again, I cannot impress upon you, don't just go waving this around the public or when you're half drunk or something. It is not going to end well. We have to take responsibility how we act. You know, there's enough people out there trying to get something accomplished, and they'll use that against us. So, that being said, now, when this slide comes back, like the other one I had, that does not open up where you can see internally into here. All these belt pads are pretty much that way. Got a pretty good sound to it. Nice steel barrel. And I like the way they inset it a little bit. But now we'll get on to the best thing to do in this case is to remove the magazine. I'm going to try to do this in a tricky way. But to make it easier, I'm just going to go ahead, unplug this laser. I'm going to unwrap this. Well, I said I was going to. Oh well, it's out of the way. This is a CO2 gun. And this system that SIG has come up with is ingenious. You're just going to pop that, and this is going to open up like so. You need it all the way open. You're going to take your CO2, you're going to drop it in there. Do this without pinching my wire. And then once you start closing this, you're on. So you really got to keep that pressure on it. Don't let it slip out of your hand. The wire's back in my way. Stop it. It's where you can, there, I got out of the way. And then you just press this. Press it. Oh, see that? I grabbed the wrong one. That was a live one. We'll do it with a dead one. We just lost that one. All right, we'll try it again. That was a stupid thing of me to do. All the way open, drop it in, shut it, and slam it down. When you're done, you're just going to open it up, tilt it a little bit forward, pop it out, and you're gone. I can't believe I just did that. 1 second, please. But that was a good example how it works. So now you know. It's okay, I brought about 2 more with me. So, pretty much, That's that part of the gun. Now, let's get to this magazine part. Dig around in my pocket. We're going to be using these destroyers, Crossley destroyers. As I've said before, you really shouldn't put like long pointed, like red fires or something in there, because it will get hung up on the mag. We've seen this story before. This mag is partially loaded, if you can see that way. So you want this curved tip downward, and you're going to take your little pellet, go nose down, drop it in place, and press it in as best as possible. Go to the next one. You're going to drop it in there like so, and press it in. And so we go down the line. 20 rounds. I did not order, my bad, I did not order another mag for it for the shooting review, so you might have to bear with me a little bit. We're gonna chew through these things. I got some fun things to do today if we can make it happen. And then down the line we go, like so. Now you can grab the top of this magazine and turn it just like that till you see where you left off at, like such, if you can view that. There we go. And then I only got about 6 more to go, so we'll just pop them on in here just like so. Now, I've had some people say these belt beds are a pain in the butt and they're time consuming, but so far these have worked really well. And I have talked some smack about SIG, and everybody knows this that's watched my channel. But the last few I've got have worked very well, very well. I should have bought 2 of these laser sights and rigged one up to that little SIG assault rifle. But we'll get to that later. And we're just going to shut our hatch like so, with that pointing forward, the curve side pointing forward. You're just going to slide it back in there and make sure it stays, and you're in business. I feel good about plugging this back in. Right now, I just added this to it as we went. Push that up. Like I said, I can get to my push pad pretty good with this arrangement. So there's really not much more I can tell you about it. So far, I like it. Now, if you have small hands, this grip may not be for you, because it's girthy that way and that way. So smaller handed. Now, I got kind of small size for hands for my size, but I'm able to get around it pretty good and lock it in. So we should be pretty good to go. So all that being said, we're going to post this one up, get it loaded onto the channel. I'm going to get some tape, and I'm going to take some cans in place. We're going to get this thing with a CO2 in it the right way, and then we'll do a shooting review. So that's how we do it at the Flying Can Ranch, and I will catch you in just a little bit.